Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Reen, a Baltic Witch, and today we are doing a love reading and we're exploring another tarot card spread. So, at the beginning of the last month, we did a spread from the Shadowscapes Tarot deck companion, which was called Is Love in the Stars? I will link it somewhere here. If you're reading the cards, learning to read the cards, you can definitely also do that reading for yourself or for someone. And today we will be looking at will it last? So, if you're in a relationship and you have doubts, will it last or not, then this will be the spread for you. If you're here only for the reading, there will be a timestamp down below in the description section. Feel free to skip ahead to those here who are learning the spreads and learning how to read. Let me explain to you what we are doing here. So just quickly show you Love is in the Stars and Will It Last? We're doing this one here. It's quite a lengthy spread. It has 7 cards. So let's start without further ado. So I'll show on my table very quickly how we will be doing it. And as always, you don't have to have this specific deck to do your reading. I'm just using the deck that goes with the guidebook that had this specific spread explained in it, but you can take any cards, any decks that you have. It can be a tarot deck, it can be an oracle deck. Don't run to the store to get specifically this one. It's just one of many tools that you can have. All right. So the first card we'll be putting here, so this side will be the positives, here will be the negatives, here will be the outcome. First of all, your hopes for the situation. Will it last? Will it not last? How do you see the relationship? This will be your partner's hopes and visions, how they see the outcome of the situation. And here we'll have the third card, which are the strengths of your relationship. And down below, respectively, we will have the fears that you have about the outcome, about the situation, their fears, and the weaknesses. And the last card that says that we will be drawing is the outcome, potential outcome of the situation. It is not written in stone. You can always change the situation. So if we get a negative outcome, it is advised that you work on the fears, work on the weaknesses this way, and also amplify the good things, and it will help you to come to a good outcome. And of course, if you get a good outcome card there, you can still work on your relationship. It is advised to keep working on your relationship, and of course, you can make the outcome even better. And if you need professional help, I always say, don't just rely on the readings and advice from people online. Go to a professional and seek professional help. All right, let's start. Welcome back, everyone who skipped ahead and is here only for the reading. We'll be looking at Will It Last between you and your partner. Thank you to the spirits who will be overseeing this act of divination today. Let's start shuffling the deck. How are you guys doing? If you can, it will take you only a second. Drop down a message. Where are you watching from? How are you doing today? This card is ready to talk to us. It just jumped out. So, to those who just joined, this is your hopes for the outcome of the situation. And we'll also look at, we'll be opening them once we have all of them on the table. Okay? And then we'll see what we have. All right, so this is your partner's hopes for the outcome of this situation. So let's see, what do we get next? We're looking at the strength, strongest aspects of this relationship. Now we're looking at the slightly less positive things. So your fears about this situation. Let's look at their fears about the outcome of your relationship. Okay. And then the weaknesses of your situation. What your relationship, what's the weakest about it? What you need to work on. And then we'll have the outcome card. Okay. Can you already tell what the outcome will be? Let's put this here. We'll see. Can you already sense it? If you know the cards, write down below. Use your intuition. Look at the cards, use your intuition. Are you sensing something already? All right, let's check what we have. Your hopes. We have the Queen of Swords. Definitely, you're looking for the best outcome in this situation. You you want a security, what I'm feeling. You want a lot of security in this situation. You want to be um, properly a spouse. You might be a very traditional person in that sense, but it really feels like what you need is security, stability, a partner who can provide that for you. And you're really hoping that this relationship will get you there. It's less about emotion for you. My cards are slightly kind of bent. It's less about emotions. It's really about you planning your future out properly. You really are looking for how should I say that? Yeah, exactly what I said before, stability. You're planning possibly everything out and you are looking for a very strong bond in your family, possibly to make sure that it is a family, that you grow together, that you develop together, not only emotionally, that you actually, both of you, are amassing proper wealth and all the luxuries and everything that you want to have in your life. It kind of feels to me like that. Their hopes. Oh, well, we have a queen and a king, which really tells me that you both have very serious intentions when it comes to this relationship. And yeah, usually the pentacles there are, ma- I would say, traditional, also quite traditional to me. At least it feels like the King of Pentacles is a very traditional kind of um, partner in a relationship, father of the family, if you may, if the other partner is a man, but not necessarily. It could be also a woman there, whichever gender we're talking about. And it seems like they're also looking for that stability, for good income. I kind of, I'm getting here, you are looking not to worry about your future, whereas they're looking for a very traditional type of family. Not necessarily when one of the spouses is working, more dealing, when they're more dealing with the household, but you both are really looking towards actually creating that strong bond. Maybe for slightly different reasons, but for both of you, it feels like the stability, expectations for stability, for that really strong unit as a family is very strong here. Your strength is Knight of Cups. Seems like the two of you, are very true with your emotions and you actually know how to communicate that. So the strength of your relationship is knowing how to communicate. You both are very good at communicating your desires, your goals. You find a way to um, mm, how to make sure that the goals that you both are going towards are also resonating with each other, that it's not one is going for one thing, says like I want to travel often, and the other one says I want to stay at home all the time. You really know how to communicate and how to compromise and make sure that your goals, the direction in which you two are trying to move, is actually aligned, and I think that is the strength of your relationship. Let's see, let's look at the fears. So your fears, we have Four of Cups. Four of Cups is a card of, I would say, vanity. It feels like that there might be something about visual looks here, at least with this card, what I'm feeling that, um, first of all, you might be afraid that they're with you only for the looks of it, or that you'll be getting like, older, not as pretty anymore. But it's, to me, it feels like it's also not really the real thing that both of you actually are expecting out of the situation. So those are all in vain. Or also that they would be looking, can also, it feels like the sense of you're afraid they would be looking at other people, not at you, but at other people, and that's your fear, and that that the relationship actually is very surface level, not deep enough. So there is these insecurities, the sense of insecurities, and a little bit of jealousy might be also in play. That's somehow what it feels like to me here. Okay, let's see their fears. Um, It feels like you're very much into a lot of things. You are it could be that you are a person who is very involved in many activities. You kind of get very deep into certain topics, and that they are afraid that you might leave them behind. It feels like you're chasing the things that you're interested, you get deep into. Like, there are people who, if they're get interested with some sort of topic, they start getting into it too deep, in the sense they start reading too much, they're talking about this topic, they start researching, they're like, leave the material, they stop being grounded and interacting with people, they're all like in their head space, following their interests, following their dreams. And you seem to be very also successful, organized in a way, even if you get distracted but by all those creative ideas or like interests that you get. um, there seems to be some sort of maybe an imbalance for him, it seems, or for them, if it's a woman, sorry. It feels like the material is important, but they're afraid that you might be actually, there might be some ego being wounded, that you might get too successful, too good at what you're doing because you really have the potential of becoming good, and then you will simply leave them behind, that they will not be good enough in that sense. That's what I'm getting here. Let's see the weakness. Ace of Cups. So we have the strength in the cups and we have the weaknesses in the cups. Let me think. You're good at talking and you are good at setting goals, but at the same time, you might sometimes be talking past each other. Or you might kind of set clear goals for each other, but it seems to be that if new opportunities are coming in, there's also some sort of misconnect might happen. Like for you, that's what I'm getting, that they see that you get too involved into certain things, too um, you just get drawn into various ideas, and suddenly that might change your opinion about what you two kind of talked about and aligned. And then the whole conversation need to start anew. There's so many things kind of happening, and then they might suddenly change their mind about something. So your weaknesses and your strengths are your emotions, you correctly communicating your emotions, and you correctly communicating. So I think you need to really make sure to keep building that bond and keep talking and keep correctly sharing your emotions. It also feels like you do keep talking and you do kind of try to communicate your emotions correctly, but there's a lot of things that you still don't fully tell each other. So you kind of, you know how women, the situation doesn't even happen, but they already came up in their mind with a completely scenario. They already imagined that their partner is cheating. They already lived through the entire situation. They got jealous. They lived through that. They already broke up with the person. They already like got back together and all in their head, whilst the other person is not fully aware that it's all the drama is happening in the other partner's head and the woman's head, as they usually can say and show. That's what I'm feeling here. That you try to communicate, and generally on the more surface level, the communication is very good and very strong. But there's a lot of things that both of you imagine might happen, and you don't really share those fears, and you also kind of get distracted by the opinions of others, maybe, or by just things happening around you, and you don't fully share. So there is the communication happening, and it's your strong point when you actually do, when you set the goals, when you stick to them, when you go together as a team in one direction. But at the same time, the things that you don't communicate and just assume, they might not really help you build a very good, strong relationship. But you definitely both have the most serious intentions here, it seems. Let's see what's the outcome. So we have the Nine of Wands. I think it's a good outcome because, as you can see, the people here, the creature and the people here in this card, they're very, it's like they're standing tall, they're standing strong, they have already made it through this entire travel and adventure, and they came out of it victorious, so to say. So I think it is a good outcome for you, but it is a Nine of Wands. There's still space to grow. We're still not at a 10. We're still not at the end of that cycle. Um, you, of course, the Ten of Wands is not possibly the best card to compare with, but I think the outcome will be good if you keep growing and keep developing and keep working on your relationship. It really feels like you should not be letting it go and let it develop as is. There needs to be, for the both of you, to clearly communicate what are your goals, what are your fears to each other, and make sure that you two work together as a team. Then the outcome will be good. You will be standing strong. You will come out victorious. The stability that both of you are looking for, that abundance of things, the comfort of life together will be there, but work still needs to be done. You need to keep working on that relationship. Let me check what's on the back of the deck. Yeah, from what I'm getting here, it's definitely you're guarding some of your kind of thoughts and emotions, um, and all the trouble that you might be kind of really causing, it's all in your head. You really need to talk. You really need to talk. You don't need to seclude yourself. There's so much. There's so much promise for a very good, strong relationship, but all the cards that I'm getting on the reverse kind of signal that there's a lot of things happening in your head, the things that you kind of come up with that as a problem, but the problem might not there. It can be all resolved by you, the two of you really communicating. So that's my reading for you. Those of you who are also doing the readings, you can also do the spread for yourself and see what message you would be getting. Those of you who are here just for the reading itself, do look at the cards, use your own intuition. There might be additional messages there in you, something completely different or additional to what I said. If you like the reading, if you like the spread here, then interact, claim the messages. If it did not resonate, leave the messages behind if it's not for you and not for your situation here. All right. Thank you very much. I post twice a week and I really try to keep up the schedule. If you want to see more of my videos, I'm always here. And thank you to you. Blessings. Have a wonderful day. Bye.